Question number 3 and 4 is related to this graph. This graph is about GDP per capita. Again, it's not new for you. So by looking at this picture, and you will be asked to answer these two questions. How does per capita GDP in China stack up against US in percentage terms? Question number 4. If Haiti's per capita GDP of roughly $1,150 were to be double every decade, what would Haiti's per capita GDP be in 20 years? Obviously, these two questions does not require you to calculate the GDP per capita, but just ask you to do some comparison among country and across years. Now let's look at the question number 3. In order to answer the question number 3, you need to know the GDP per capita for United States and for China. Based on the graph, you will find the United States have a very large GDP per capita, that is $47,020. But for China, it is only $7,570. In order to answer question number 3, you need to use this formula. So the percentage of the Chinese GDP to the ratio of the Chinese GDP to the United States GDP is equal to the China GDP per capita divided by US GDP per capita, and times 100%. Now we know the Chinese GDP per capita, that is $7,570, divided by the US, that is 47,020 US dollars, times 100. And then you can use a calculator to work on the question. And so find the calculator. Then you use 7,570 divided by 47,020, and you get 0.16099, and times 100% if we keep only one decimal, and we got 16.1%. So this is the answer for question number 3. Now let's look at question number 4. Number 4 is asked if Haiti's per capita GDP of roughly $1,150 were to double every decade. So what is 1 decade equal to? So 1 decade equal to 10 years. So the question asks you, what would Haiti's per capita GDP be in 20 years? So that means, so the initial value for GDP per capita is 1,150. So initial value is $1,150. And we know at every 10 years the value will be doubled. So which means within 10 years. So let's create a table. And this is GDP per capita. So let's say this is initial year, so that is 2010, and 2020, because it's 1 decade equal to 10 years, so you need to add 10 years, and 2030. So the initial GDP per capita is $1,150. So after 10 years, it will double. So which means it's equal to, so in 2002, and equal to 1150 double times 2, and we got 2300. So here is 2300. But the question asks you, 20 years, so that is it's reached to 2013, and so that's equal to 2300 times 2, and we got 4600. So this blank should be 4600. Now we get the answer for the question number 4, because question number 4 asks you, what would Haiti's per capita GDP be in 20 years? So that's what we have here. That is, what is the GDP per capita in 2030? So that is 4,600. So again, if you want to calculate how about after 30 years, what we need to do is we create one more column. 2014, 40, and so that is 2040, that equal to 4600 times 2, we got 9200. So that means after 30 years, the Haiti's GDP per capita will be 9,200.